This is part 2 of the Atlanta Falcons roster breakdown, and going to get straight to it, man. The defensive ends. This is Vic freaking Beasley. Now, Vic Beasley is very controversial. I'm not going to beat around the bush. A lot of Falcons fans want him gone. They say that he sucks, and look, they just outright can't stand the guy. And I'm not one of those guys. I actually believe in him. I'm his #1 fan. I want him to succeed. But I'm not going to put on a number on Vic Beasley. I just want him to be consistent. That's it. And he has the ability to be consistent. But the Falcons can't do that without a plan in place. And this is one reason why I say the Falcons, look, we got to be patient with Vic Beasley. Like I said before, not going to put a number on him. Not going to say he needs 15 sacks. He needs 10 sacks to be able, to be in good graces with the fans again. Not going to say that. But he definitely needs to improve. All right. Next guy is Takk McKinley. I just want to see him take that next step. And the Real Patman actually mentioned this. You can check him out at Twitter at the Real Patman. But he says that that Takk McKinley is his career, his trajectory is eerie similar to a guy that plays for the Dallas Cowboys, and that's DeMarcus Lawrence. Not saying that he's going to be DeMarcus Lawrence, but if you look at his stats and his ability, look, man, he can't be that. So we're going to look for Takk to become a better pass rusher. Next one is Adrian Claiborne. I'm just looking for him to get 4 to 5 sacks. I'm not going to put a huge number on him. I'm not going to put 8 or 10 sacks on it. That'd be outrageous, but I'm just going to look for him to get 4 to 5 sacks, and that'll be good for the Atlanta Falcons, as well as, staying healthy. Chris Odom is a guy that I'm not going to look much into, but I expect him to make the practice squad, and that's about it. Bennett is another guy that could possibly would be with the Atlanta Falcons next year. Not going to say he will make the team, but he definitely has a chance. All right, he's going to have every opportunity to make a play in preseason. But outside of that, next we will be doing the defensive tackle. First off, the defensive tackle is interesting for me. I'm going to start with Grady Jarrett, without a doubt the best defensive lineman that we have. But if he wants to be known alongside the likes of a Fletcher Cox, Aaron Donald, I need to see double-digit sacks from Grady Jarrett. All right, pressures are fine, tackle for losses is fine, but I need to see double-digit sacks. All right, I want to see him on ESPN. I want to see him in the highlights. I want to see him, talked about as one of the best defensive tackles in the league. Yes, we all know that, but I want him to be able to have those big billboard posters, be known as, one of the best. And the only way you're going to do that is make Pro Bowls. Only way you're going to do that is to win Defensive Player of the Year. So I am advocating for Grady Jarrett to get 10 sacks or more this season. He has to do that. And the next guy is obviously Jarrett Crawford. I know he's labeled a defensive end, but if the Falcons want to get after the quarterback, and which is I'm focusing on, is getting him in nickel situations as he can do what he does best, and that's get after the quarterback. So have Jarrett Crawford playing more defensive tackle so he can do what he does best. Yes, he can play defensive end, but like I said before, if he wants to get after the quarterback, Jarrett Crawford has to do that from the inside. All right. Oh, next guy is Tyler Davidson, to kind of create opportunities for guys like Grady Jarrett and Jarrett Crawford. Tyler Davidson obviously played a significant role in run defense. But, man, you have to have guys who can create one-on-one matchups for guys like Grady to get after the quarterback, and Tyler Davidson can do that, as well as Rashid Hageman, who he will be suspended for 2 games, but when he comes back, he's going to play a significant role in the run defense for the Atlanta Falcons. And the final one is Deidre Sanat. Deidre Sanat is a guy that a lot of Falcons fans are just not paying any attention to. They don't have any expectations for Deidre Sanat. Every time I ask about one of them, fans ask me about a player, it's never about Deidre Sanat. So, with that being said, man, next up we will be doing the linebackers. Next up, the linebackers, and got to start with Deion Jones. If there's one aspect of the game that I feel as though he has to improve with, it is probably forced fumbles. I think the Falcons will end up as a top 5 team as far as creating turnovers concerned. And when it all comes down to it, man, the Falcons are definitely a talented group. But like I said before, if the Falcons want to take that next step of being a top defense, it will have to be at creating turnovers. And Deion Jones is a terrific cover guy. He tackles well. He shares blocks. He does all of that well. But I want turnovers, and I want him to focus on. I'm expecting to see more forced fumbles from Deion Jones. And this guy, a lot of people are just not paying a lot of attention to. He pretty much is the punching bag on this team, man. Is that Duke Riley, man? Let's just be honest, man. Duke is not a bad. He's not a bad linebacker, all right? His main issue is just tackling. He has to tackle much better. All right, he has to improve that aspect of the game, and like I said, he has the instincts. He has the athleticism to be a serviceable linebacker, but it's come down to execution. He can tackle. He can improve that aspect of the game. Devondre Campbell's a guy that is interesting. I don't see him coming back next year, but I want to see him improve as a pass rusher. I want to see him add that aspect of the game. If he doesn't come back to the Atlanta Falcons, look, man, being able to rush the passer is an aspect of the game that he can add to his repertoire and showcase, and before going into free agency. Bruce Carter is a guy that will not make the team. I really don't have any confidence in this guy, man. I really, really don't have any confidence in Bruce Carter. But special teams is an area that the Falcons may need, and he definitely will. He'll have a chance. He will have a chance to make the team. For your Olakun, I think he will be the starter for Devondre Campbell in the upcoming future. But when it comes down to the linebackers, man, Bruce Carter, Trey Crawford, Jermaine Grace, these guys, Delshon Phillips, I don't see these guys. But next up is the defensive back. Defensive backs, let's start with the cornerbacks and Desmond Trufant. It's just simple with him. He just has to learn to catch the ball. All right, that's it. Desmond Trufant is technically sound. He's a great corner in this league, and at this point, it's all about just catching the ball so he can satisfy fans. I'm already, a Trufant fan. All right, but Atlanta Falcons fans want to see numbers. They want to see interceptions. They want to see big plays, pick sixes, and whatnot. So I'm just worried, just looking for Desmond Trufant to improve his hands. All right, Isaiah Oliver is a guy that just needs experience. I think he has all the physical tools to be all pro. Reminds me of a lot of Richard Sherman, but more athletic. He is a bright corner, and I think he will be a Pro Bowler in the very near future. Kendall Sheffield is an interesting player for the simple fact that he has tremendous athletic ability, and I think the Falcons will use him as the 4th, 5th corner. Also, you may see him as special teams to try to make some plays here and there. But for the most part, man, I think the Falcons could also utilize him like different blitz packages or whatnot to kind of you get his speed on the field, so he can match up against guys, those 3rd or 4th receivers who are burners, like Taylor Gabriel, was for the Atlanta Falcons. Kendall Sheffield will have the ability. I don't expect him to play much, but he will have opportunities to make plays. Jordan Crawford is a guy that definitely has ability, but I don't see the Falcons using him this season. He's going to have opportunities in case guys get hurt, but for the most part, do not expect to see Jordan Miller. Bleedy Ray Wilson also is the special teams ace. DeMonte Casey is a guy that is an X factor for this team. He's going to line up all over the place. Wherever you can feature DeMonte Casey against the offense, DeMonte Casey is going to make plays. So I'm not worried about DeMonte Casey in that aspect. He is a goddamn baller. All right. Next guy is Sherrod Neesman. I think he has to work on his zone coverage. He's a serviceable safety, but at this point, man, his future with the Atlanta Falcons is very much in jeopardy. Ricardo Allen. Don't have to worry about Ricardo Allen. I actually think Ricardo Allen is going to be the comeback player of the year. I think he's going to make it difficult for Dan Quinn to say, you know what, man, we got to get rid of him. He's going to have something to say. Maybe he can use, the Falcons use him as trade bait, but Ricardo Allen is going to have something to say. Keanu Neal is a guy. There's no introduction. All right, you need no introduction. You already know who Keanu Neal is, so I'm not worried about Keanu, man. He's gonna ball, and that's the Falcons team, man. This secondary, um, along with Kamal Ishmael, is a guy. He's gonna play as a hybrid, safety linebacker that box. Pretty much what Keanu Neal is for the Atlanta Falcons. I think he falls right into that spot. Wilcox is a guy may or may not make it, just based on how many players that the Falcons have on his team. But this is the defensive backs, and next up, special teams. Special team is an aspect of the game that a lot of fans don't pay any attention to. They take for granted. You can look at the Chicago Bears. When you have a kicker that is inconsistent, and he hasn't shown that he has the ability to come through in the clutch like a Morton Anderson, like a Money Matt Bryant, fans are going to be skeptical. I'm going to be skeptical. So if Giorgio Truvecchio really is the guy, he's going to have to shut that up really quick. He's going to have to shut that up fast, all right? And I believe that Giorgio Truvecchio is a clutch kicker. He has that ability. He definitely has the leg strength, but he has to put it together. All right, there's only a certain amount of kickers in the league to just have that it. Money Matt Bryant had it, and a lot of Falcons fans are still kind of upset that the Falcons released him. But, man, it's time to move on, and Giorgio Truvecchio will have his opportunity. Now, Josh Harris, the long snapper. We know that there are instances during games that one bad snap can give another team the momentum. All right, a missed tackle can give a team momentum, extra yards, and the long snapper is huge. These guys have to learn and know how to tackle. So Josh Harris is a vital part of special teams. Next guy is Matt Bosher. Matt Bosher is a guy that he is aging. He still has the leg strength to be able to punt the ball, 50 yards in the air if the Falcons need, 40 yards in the air, to give them better field position. He still has that ability. But if the Atlanta Falcons want to continue to, be one of the best special teams unit, get back to being one of the best special teams units in the NFL, these guys have to do what they do best, and that's just, come through in the clutch. The Falcons haven't had a good special teams unit, return unit in a while. So I'm expecting Marcus Green, Zacchaeus, Calvin Ridley, Kendall Sheffield, these guys with speed, to get out and showcase what they can do as returners. But this is the 2019 roster breakdown. Leave your comments below, and do not forget to hit that subscribe button. Your boy Mad Mike is out, man. Peace.